Hello, here's another DEX from the Graphic Design School. My name is Anouk, and during this DEX the aim is to create a design that looks like a 3D collage made out of various paper layers. We will do this in Adobe Illustrator and we'll use gradients and shadows to create this effect of a cut and pasted paper look. Before you start, make sure you read the brief so you know the design goals, the constraints and the allocated time, and take some time to make a plan and sketch on paper before you take your idea into the computer. I am going to create this daydream. It's spring here, but it still feels really cold and wet, so I long for a day at a hot tropical beach. And this effect makes it look pretty unreal, but at the same time it still looks attractive and relaxing to me. So I think it's a nice match with the subject of daydreaming, which often is also far from reality. So let's open Adobe Illustrator and get started. So I have opened Adobe Illustrator CC and we're going to create a new file. So go to File, New, and here we can create our new document. I'll give it a name. Paper collage. Oh, 3D. These are the sizes that I'm going to use because I want to create a poster in a mockup that I have already downloaded and prepared. So I know the sizes that I need to work in. So before you create your collage, make sure you know the exact sizes that you want to use for your postcard or a poster or whatever you're creating this for. We don't need any bleed. Color mode is RGB, so we can create. There we go. Now I'm going to use the layers panel quite a bit. That's over here on your right hand side. If it's not over here, go to Window, and it is here as well, layers. So the first layer will be the background. So I'll give it a name, background, so I can easily find it whenever I need my layers. And I'm just, with the rectangle tool, very easy, create a rectangle the size of my canvas. Okay, and that'll be a white one, no stroke, and a white fill. Yeah, that's good. So if you are going to use other colors, another color, a main color, you give that the color that you want to use. Now the next layer will be for my design. I'll create a new layer over here. Will be the beach, so I'll give it a name. Oh. Beach, enter, and I will lock the background, so I won't need that. Beach, okay, I'm not sure what that is. Can go away. Okay, I'm going to use the pen tool. That's the shortcut is P, or use it here, pen tool. And the beach will have a very basic outline. Don't worry about the fact that it crosses the border of your canvas. We'll clean that up in the end. So that's one. Let's start by giving this that cut and pasted look. So select your shape, and then we're going to start by applying a gradient to it. So make sure you've got it on fill, go to gradient, and add a linear gradient. And it will be set on the use of white blending into black, but that's way too dark, so I'm going to adjust the black, double clicking, and give it a light gray, into a light gray. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to adjust the angle of the gradient. You can do that here. Probably 45 will be good. Yeah, let's have a look. And I think we can make it a bit lighter, so I want the dark, the gray moving in a bit later. Okay, yeah, great. And then I'm going to move on to the stroke, and I'm going to apply a gradient to the stroke as well. So now I have selected the stroke of this shape, going back to gradient, also a linear gradient. It's still on the same settings that I used before, that's great, and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do -45. Okay, and I'm going to give the stroke a bit more weight, move it into 2. And in order to blend the stroke a bit more into the fill, I'm going to go select the shape, make sure it's on the stroke, go to Appearance, and here you can see the shape, the path, stroke and the fill, and I want to give the stroke a different opacity. I'm going to lower that to around 30. Okay. Okay. Let's have a closer look. And I'm going to add a shadow. And you can do that here. So select your shape, make sure you've got it selected on the fill, and you go to Effect, Stylize, Drop Shadow. Okay. Make sure you click preview so you can see what's going on over here and you can easily adjust accordingly. The opaque color is black, that's good. You won't need another color. Opacity. Let's have a look. I think I want this to go down. Not too much, and the X go down even to minus. So now you can see it moving that way. Okay. This is just playing around, see what you can improve and continue to work with it until you're happy. I think it looks good to me like this. The blur, let's see what happens. No, it's too much. Okay. Why? Okay, I think it's good. Okay. Click OK. Move that to the side. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Now this effect that I just created with the gradients and the drop shadow, you can easily save and use again on all the other shapes that you are going to create. And you can do that here, the graphic styles. If it's not over here, go to Window and it'll be there as well. And just drag your shape in there. And it won't remember the outline, the shape, but it does remember the effect that you created. Okay, so now we are going to create the other elements. I'm just going to add another layer of the beach. I'm just going to do that by copying this one. If you select it, press Alt and drag it up. We have another shape, the same, and copied. Just going to put it there, and I want that to go back, so I'm going to go to Layers and move it down a bit. So there we go. Now it's behind there. Cool. Let's have a look. Is it okay like this? Might just change it around a bit. Cool. Now I'm going to create the ocean, the waves. Let's see, we will do that with a pen tool. Just going to draw, hold Shift, a straight line, V, and this line I'm going to give waves. You can easily do that by going to Effect, Distort and Transform, and go down to Zigzag. Make sure Preview is on, and then I'm going to do the smooth one. Points are smooth, and you can have a look at kind of, I think we need more ridges, so I'm just going to add that up a bit more. Okay, they're just a bit too big, so I'm just going to put that one down. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, then I'm just going to make that one off and we'll put that one on white first. Let's see. I want that white. Okay. Then with this one selected, I'm going to go to Object and expand Appearance. So now I have a line. You can see that when I have the direct selection tool on, where you can even now adjust every wave. From there, I'm going to continue to build parts of my ocean. So I can give it a fill. There we go. Selection tool on. Make it a little bit bigger and I'm going to move it down. Now there's one thing I forgot to do, because I want to create a new layer for my ocean. I'm just going to Command X, cut it, go to the layers and create a new layer. There we are. I'll give that the name Ocean. Okay, make sure we're on this one and I'm going to paste it back. There we go. But I want the ocean to disappear behind that beach. I'm just going to move it down. There we go. So now we have the ocean here. And I want to give that same effect. So I'm going to select it and then I'm going to go to my graphic styles. Click on that one. And here we go. Now I'm just gonna, it's a little bit too high the waves, I think. I'm just gonna adjust it a little bit. Yep. Okay, now I'm gonna select the shape, hold Alt. I'm gonna drag another one. And put it right there. Gonna, I think, make 4 of those. I'm gonna press Alt again, drag, and then press Alt again and drag it out. So we have 4 of them, but they're in the wrong order, so I'm just gonna go to Layers, go to Beach, go Ocean, this was the one I need, Ocean, and I'm gonna move that one to the top. So now they're all in the correct order. Okay, so now we have the beach, we've got the ocean, and I think it's now getting a bit boring because they all look the same. They have the same gradient, the same shadow. So I want to make these a bit lighter. So I'm going to click on this first one and I'm going to adjust the fill, the gradient. And I might do that by using the gradient tool. Here it is. So now you can see it's on that 45 angle. Here's the gray, here's the white, and I think I want it to be a bit lighter, so I'm just gonna move that up a bit. You can see this now changing. So it's already a bit lighter, and we might just move it around a little bit. So now you can see here it changes as well to 37. Okay. I think that looks good. Just gonna do the same here, and I want them all to be a little bit different. So I select it, I'll go here, and that one I'll move up this way a little bit. Okay, let's see this one. Okay. You can also hold it and then move it up a bit. That changes it, makes it much lighter. Okay, press V or your selection tool to get out. And then that one. I'm gonna move up. That was not what I intended to do. Let's see. I just pressed Command Z to undo what just happened. No idea what that was. Move it there. Okay. So these are all settings that you can play around with a bit until you're happy with the result. Now I'm just gonna have a look at the distance. Move that up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So now we created the ocean. Now I want to add the sun. There's a sunset going on, which is a very easy shape. Go to your ellipse tool, hold Shift, and drag out. There we go. One will go around here, but I'm just gonna cut it and give it a new layer as well. So Command X, layers, new layer. It's not where I want it to be, sorry. New layer, and we'll call that sunsets. And I'm gonna Command V, paste it back. I want the sunset to be behind the waves and the beach. So I'm gonna drag it down. Come on. Put it over there. Yeah. So you can see it's behind. So I'm gonna go to my selection tool and I'm just gonna move it up a bit. Let's see. Looks pretty good. I'm going to give it the appearance of the graphic style that I created, but I am going to adjust it. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to adjust the gradients. Move that up a bit. I don't want it to be that dark. I think this looks much better. Okay, and I'm going to adjust the drop shadow. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Fill, over here, and here you can see the drop shadow. And here you can adjust the drop shadow, because if I would do that, or because it already has a drop shadow and add one here, it's going to add another drop shadow. That's not what I want. I want to adjust the drop shadow that we already created. And I want it moving back a bit, moving in a bit, and preview. Yeah, that's much better. Blur a bit more maybe. Put that down to, see what happens if you put that on 50. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, nice. Okay, and now there's a couple of elements that I also want to add, some smaller shapes to add to that feeling of the tropical beach. These shapes I already created, so I will copy paste them in. So let's go in and paste them in here. Okay. Just gonna move them to the side. Okay. So I want to add a palm tree with a hammock, fish jumping out of the water. I want to add some small light clouds in front of the sun. Those always give it that extra cool color in reality. And a nice cocktail. And also these shapes, I will give the same gradient and shadow, so it has that same cut paste effect. So I will show you how to add these elements to your collage. Let me start by the fish, and once I've done that one, I will do the other ones and speed up the recording to save a little bit of time. Let's start with the fish. So I've got that here. Let's drag it in a bit. I want the fish to jump out of the water. Just going to give it a wide fill so we can see it better. So it needs to move in. Oh, where did it go? It needs to move in from behind this wave. So this one, I'm just going to create a new layer for this fish. I'm just going to Command X, cut it out, go to my layers panel, create a new layer, name it fish, cut back in the fish. I'm just going to move the fish behind this ocean. So that is that one. I want it there. So now we should be able, where did my fish go? Oh, there it is. Let's see, give it a color. Let's see if we can now see the fish. Here it is. Can't really see it. Just gonna apply the effect on it, graphic styles. That's much better. Now we can see the fish jumping out of the water. I'm just gonna adjust it a little bit by going to appearance. Let's see, where is the drop shadow? Here it is. Click on it. Blur. I think the offset on the X is a bit too much. Should click preview, otherwise we have no idea what we're doing. And then the Y. Move that up a little bit. And I want this to be much lower, so I'm going to make that, let's say, 35. Is that better? I think that's much better. So we've got the fish. So I will continue putting these into the collage, and I will speed up so you will see this in high speed. Okay, so now we are back at normal speed. What I want to do finally is adding the word daydreaming in there. So I'm going to use my type tool and type in daydreaming, and I will adjust the font over here, character it says, and I'm going to use code light. I want it to be in nice subtle thin line, and I'm gonna adjust it. So the size will be, I think 60 will be good. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna place it centered and drag it in. Yeah, and I want it in the middle, like this. Okay, so we could just leave it like this, which is pretty cool actually, or give it like this light gray color. I do like that calm feel that it has right now. But you could also, to give it a bit more contrast, use color here. Maybe the colors that resemble that sunset feel with the orange, yellow gradient maybe. So we could do that as well. I just wanted to show you what that would look like. I think it's easiest then to create outlines. There we go. So now it's no longer type, but it's shapes. I'm just gonna object and make it one compound path. So compound path make. So now it's one shape, and now I could add a gradient. Do a linear one, and with different colors. So I'm just gonna find those colors that resemble sunset. This must be much lighter. Let's see. Let's adjust. Orange, more orange yellow maybe. Let's see. Okay. And then I want it from there. It's maybe in the middle. I think we need a bigger difference between the colors. Like that. Yeah, cool. So now we have daydreaming, which is a nice contrast with all the white in that color that resembles the sun going down. Now there's one final thing. We need to clean this up. This is a bit messy out there. We can easily do that. Just gonna zoom out a little bit. Let's see. By grouping it all. Command G. Then I'm just gonna go to my rectangle tool. And I'm gonna create a rectangle the size of my canvas. On top of it, doesn't matter what color that is. Okay, go back to my selection tool. Gonna select all of them. Gonna go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. There we go. So now we cleaned it up. And now I would continue just refining it a little bit here and there. I think the shadows for the palm trees are just a little bit too much at the moment. And once I'm done, I'm gonna pop it into a mock-up and make it look like a real poster. And that's it for now. So I'm done. And as you have seen in the brief, this text contains an exercise for 3 different levels of design experience. So pick the one that fits you and get going. I hope you'll have fun, and we can't wait to see your ideas. So don't forget to upload your finished pieces of work. Okay, see you next time. Bye!